अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। इस धरती पर कभी न होगा अनुज भरत सा। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we will chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verses 1 to 10.
ॐ अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अभयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आजवम् अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागः शान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वम् मार्दवम् ह्रीरचापलम् तेजः क्षमा धृतिः शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थ सम्पदमासुरीम् दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धायासुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्तः आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जना न विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारः न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतम् किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरम् दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः
Group 1, the members were Deep Raj, Monitor, Kalyan, and Ramchandran Ji, the questioner. The question was, how do we tame the mind? The answer was, the way to tame the mind is through the intellect. To develop the intellect, one needs to have a daily routine of morning studies and introspection before going to bed. Just like how one develops muscles over a long time through consistency, one develops the intellect to be disciplined with the mind through consistency. In the meantime, one can avoid situations that agitate them. They can also seek help from someone who has a more developed intellect in that area and be in the company of the good.
Very good. Where is our questioner? I can't see the questioner. Ramchandran? There, not there?
Yeah, I am very much.
Okay. I don't think I've seen you ever. Can you switch your video on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, where are you based?
Ernakulam, Kerala.
Okay. I live in such a beautiful area. So you're happy with this? I think they have covered almost everything, which is very good. Good answer. Only one additional fact you could have probably also used is that the mind is untamed because there are too many desires. So the second way is that you do the 3 yogas, and these desires come down. Your mind can only run where there is a desire. So how can it run unless there's a desire? Like right now, where can your mind go? It can only go to, I don't know what work you do, something to do with work, something to do with family, wherever the desires are. Or if you're at work, where can your mind run? It'll run to Vedanta. So it can only run where the mind is. So they've covered it quite extensively. Only additional point, if you would like to consider, is that the mind is untamed because of desires. It runs wherever there are desires. So spiritual sadhana, that is karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, is the main way of taming the mind. However, right now, since we do not have, that's obviously going to take a long time for the desires to come down and our mind to be tamed. Therefore, we start first directing the mind with the intellect. So you take the smallest things, every day, small things. Okay, you're feeling something, whatever you're feeling, good, bad, greedy, angry, in grief, agitated, anxious, and think, stop for a minute and think, what should I be doing now? Should I be doing anything now? If I should be doing anything, then what should I be doing now? And just some of these little things constantly. What is the most sensible thing for me to do in this position? Somebody's getting irritated at you and screaming at you. What's the most sensible thing you have to do in this position? Somebody's unhappy with you, is agitated with you. What's the most sensible thing I could do now? So we don't want to escalate anything. We don't want to be in disharmony with people. So what's the sensible thing to do? A child is screaming. What do you do? Very children, very difficult. Suddenly they start screaming. What are you supposed to do with them? So good parents catch hold of them and say, can you put in words whatever you wish to say? Because I don't understand you when you're crying. So they put in words. What is it you would like to say? And then based on what the child says, you can deal with them. I don't know if you've noticed children go, what is the problem? If you don't tell me what the problem is, how am I supposed to solve it for you? So all the time exerting oneself to think what is the sensible thing to do here? What is the way to behave here? Right? And of course that ability comes through morning studies. Because morning studies is like wall practice for it. Is Bharat saying. Aligned to a goal is another way. Yes, correct, Bharat. Except it's not another way. It's the same way. But you're right, of course. Another way of putting it is aligned to a goal. So when you're saying how do I tame my mind, that means I already have something. Otherwise, what am I taming it for? But that's another way of looking at the same thing. It's a good way of looking at it. What am I taming it for? What's the purpose? When I say I want to tame mind, why do I want to tame mind? It is not in the air, right? So in our case, of course, we look upon it from the perspective of our spiritual growth. I want my mind tamed because I want to grow spiritually. But everyone has to decide what are they taming their mind for. So that's what Bharat is saying. Think of the goal. What is it you're trying to achieve? Okay, so yes, Ramchandran, you have anything to say? As a questioner, you get priority for all things.
No, I was just telling in the discussion that though we have practical knowledge, everything, but many a times that the mind is hijacking our intellect. That has happened.
Okay, but
Though
now
we
you're
are aware of
changing the
the
question. Stop. Now you're questioning, changing the question. Now your question is, why does the mind behave like that, even though I have knowledge? But we can't take that up now because the original question is, how do I tame my mind? We can take up your question, but separately, not here. In this, whatever we've discussed now, if you have a question, we can take that up.
Correct. We have to constantly tell our intellect what is good for us.
No. Stop. You can't tell your intellect anything. Who is telling your intellect?
Our own mind, our own.
Mind is teaching the intellect, then there's trouble here, right? Intellect teaches the mind. Intellect tells the mind what is right and what is wrong, except that you don't think like that. That's one of the reasons I changed it to the word sensible. Because we have in our head lists. These lists are in our mind, not in our intellect. This is one of the great lessons we learn over here. That, we think, okay, this is good and this is bad, but that's the mind. The intellect says what is sensible, what is worthy of being done. Okay, because I may want to eat, let us say, I think the right thing to do is to eat simple food. And I'm always not only eating simple food, trying to make everybody else eat simple food. But is that the sensible thing to do? That's the question I have to ask myself. That's when I engage my intellect. And if I do want them to eat sensible food, by telling people to eat sensible food, are they going to eat it? So, what is the sensible thing for me to do? That's why I changed that word to sensible, because usually we say the mind is untamable because we are trying to align it to some list that it itself has. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, Deepraj?
Would you like to add something to the list of in the meantime to these days?
In the meanwhile, do karma yoga. The more you spend your time in karma, the less time your mind has to run around anywhere else. Right? But always, of course, in the meantime, you must be careful not to let the meantime go on for too long also. But in the meantime, also be more realistic. Like, what can I do and what can't I do? If I say every single day I will get up at 4 o'clock and I will study, but I'm not capable at the moment. So what should I try for? Let me try for 5:15. At least 6 times a week, I should be able to achieve that. Some days maybe I'll get up one day in the week because I'm too tired or because I don't have the control. I'll get up at 6 o'clock. But whatever time I get up, I will I will make sure that I study first. So, just make it sensible, make it appropriate, you are not fighting your mind. It's a long journey. So you're doing a marathon here, not a sprint. For a sprint, you can, force your mind to do something, but that's only a short while. Slowly, slowly. What can I do? Can I do 6 days a week? Can I do 5 days a week? Exercise or study, whatever I'm trying to achieve. Okay, if I lose my temper 3 times a week, I'll allow myself, but no more than 3 times. By Monday, if I've lost it 3 times, then sorry, rest of the week, you just shut up. So, just make it realistic for yourself. Where am I now? What should I now achieve?
Thank you.
Janki ma'am, can ego speak to intellect? Because the ego, the sense
Can you
I
put
am.
on your video so that I can see you? But at least when you're speaking, let me see you. Okay.
Okay, namaste Janki ma'am. My question is, just now a gentleman has said that I was telling my intellect. So can the ego communicate to the intellect?
No.
Is the ego subtler than the intellect? Because ego has an I sense in it.
No. Let us define all our terms. So then, in another class, if you ask somebody else, that person may say yes. But the reason we say yes or no is based on something. And what is it based on? It's based on the way we're using the term. So in Vedanta, in these classes, we are defining it in a particular way. Other people in Vedanta itself may define it in a different way. So here, we are keeping a fixed definition so that we can all talk to each other. Okay? You can't take this definition and go to some other class and use it. So just for our purposes. So let's go. What is a mind? Mind is our emotions, our whims and fancies, our irrational thoughts, our feelings, love, anger, greed, hate, jealousy, all of that. A good
Likes and
example.
dislikes.
Sorry?
Likes and dislikes.
Likes and dislikes, conditioning, this entire irrational part of our personality, we are calling manas or mind. Then there's another part in us called the buddhi, intellect, which is discrimination, reason, judgment, analysis, decision. All this comes under intellect. Right? So we have the mind, we have the intellect. Now there is something in us which attributes these emotions and feelings and this thinking and discrimination to myself. Those kind of
Right.
things that attribute things to myself, those type of thoughts are known as ego.
Yeah.
Right? So mind, intellect, ego is a classification of thoughts. When that thought says this is mine, it could be my house, it could be my child, it could be my wife, it could be my work, it could be the dish I have made, it could be my opinion, it could be my question, anything that attributes it back to myself. Those kind of thoughts we call ego.
Right.
Okay? So
It's a
nobody
combination of mind and intellect together. There's the I sense, this ego.
Combination, that kind of thought that attributes these thoughts and feelings to myself.
Right.
That which calls them me or mine.
Yes. So the combined effect of them can address to me that my intellect would function like this.
No. Because that is not a quality of that is not the type of the ego. That's not a type of thought that is called ego. The type of thought that is called ego that says my intellect, full stop.
Okay.
It should function like this, could be either mind or intellect, dependent on whether your mind, because of its conditioning, is saying should, or intellect is saying should out of reasoning. So a should thought, 99% is the mind. Because intellect doesn't say should.
When there is a clarity and proper discrimination, I would say that discrimination is functioning. When there is a feeling, I would say that my mind, my emotions, my mind is functioning. But when there is a confusion between them, then I would say this is the ego that's asserting now this should be done or that should be done.
No. Confusion is mind.
Okay.
Intellect is that doesn't understand what is confusion. All emotions, including confusion, delusion, everything comes under mind.
Right. So no I sense in this case, no, that I am directing sort of thing, that the ego directing, the vanity directing.
No, I am directing is ego. Just the I am directing is ego.
Ego, yes.
But the intellect doesn't talk like that. Intellect says that this, 2 plus 2 is 4. It's very matter of fact for the intellect. But you say now, I say that 2 plus 2 is 4. Now your intellect is now your ego is attributing the intellect to oneself.
Okay.
So it's not a combination as you're thinking. It could be work, right? I can attribute work to myself. Just like that, I can attribute an equation to myself. Intellect doesn't talk about me in the picture. It just says this is a squared plus b squared is equal to whatever. So ego doesn't have a conversation with you.
Okay.
It just says this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Sab mera hai.
But the chattering which goes on is because of the ego, the mind talking to the ego.
Mind. Irrational thoughts, undirected thoughts, all mind.
To whom the mind is talking when this talking, is talking to one's ego, no?
To itself. Mind is doing a full drama within itself. It will only argue one way, then it will argue the other way. Haven't you heard people say कि मुझे तो कुछ किसी के बारे में बोलना अच्छा ही नहीं लगता, पर क्या करूं, ये लोग ऐसे ही है. It's having a full conversation ना, अपने बाप में ही टहल रहा है.
अपने में बोलना जो होता है चैटरिंग, नो, अपने आप में बात करना. So to whom it is talking to?
To itself. 9 out of 10 times, even when people are using their lips, they're talking to themselves.
Themselves is the ego, no? They can't talk to the...
No. When it attributes it back, when it says this chattering is mine, that is when the ego comes in. Right. That's when we are classifying. So you may be using a different definition, which is fine. You don't have to stick. But when we are talking in this class, to be on the same platform, we have to make the definition same.
Okay, right.
Taran.
Thank you.
Is intellect same or different than buddhi?
No, same point, same point.
Okay, okay, go
When we are talking to ourselves, it is because mind is fully confused. Because no, because why I'm asking, one day I was going with my friend, and whole journey he was talking to himself about some job. So he was confused. Anybody is confused. That is the reason.
Mind is overtaken, no. The reason is no intellect is functioning.
This
Intellect
is the
is
basically. Okay.
yeah. And forget it, it's not just the chattering that goes on in the head. Even when you're listening, nobody is listening. That is why if I stop and I say, what was our flow of thought? Nobody can answer this question. Because even while listening, forget chattering, while listening also mind is involved. So it does its own talking. Like suppose in the class something is going on, mind means this, intellect means this. Mind is doing its own story in the mind. The mind is completely self-absorbed. Its world is itself. It doesn't understand. Like a child, the child will have a doll. The child will pick up the doll and say, this doll is my brother. Now my brother, or my sister, or my best friend. Then it's having a conversation with that doll. That doll is immaterial. Like that husbands and wives talk to each other. The other one is immaterial. They're having their own conversation. They'll say, oh, my husband or my wife, she's so sweet, no. But sometimes she's such a nag. Oh, what to do? Women are like that only. But I only got a little bigger nag, I think, than everybody else. So I'm going on. अपना tell के आ रहे हो? क्यों tell रहे हो भैया? Okay, so all this is mind.
Okay, thank you.
Taran, is intellect same or different than buddhi? Same. Intellect is the English translation of the Sanskrit word buddhi. Prakash's iPhone. Can we say ego is independent of mind and intellect? Ego, mind, intellect, and for sake of completion, chit are a particular kind of classification of thoughts. So I don't know if you can say independent because they're all thoughts and therefore I guess they all exist together. There is another definition of ego which is just the fact of individuality, but we are not using that definition here. So when you use ego in the sense of fact of individuality, just that the individual exists, that means that even a person in the state of meditation, right, he has only one thought left. By definition, that person will have ego. Because we've defined ego as a fact of individuality. When you define it like that, then mind and intellect stems from it. Because there's no question of mind and intellect till there is an individuality. That's why I'm saying it's all dependent on how you're defining all these terms. For our class and for our purposes, we have defined it in the way I told you first. So otherwise, too much confusion. Because you remember that this knowledge is coming down to us for 10,000 years. Or God knows how much, how long. So many thinkers, so many authors, and no one authority anywhere. We don't even believe in this. People have used words in the way they wish to use it. Not only that, with time also meanings of word changes. Only one word, as far as I can see, has retained itself from Vedic times till today in exactly the same way and in exactly the same meaning. Not only one word, but very surprising one word, which has retained itself and its meaning, and the whole country uses it. I don't know any other word like that. Same sense, same meaning, and used by the whole country. Do you know any word from Vedic times till today, used in exactly the same way by everybody in this country, Meaning exactly the same thing. I can only think of one word like that.
Is it Maya?
No, okay, maybe I'm trying to remember now whether the word Maya was there in the Vedas, but I cannot remember. But yes, that's a possibility, yes. But it may not, okay, maybe used by the whole country, okay. Yes, so that's a possibility. Shraddha. Yeah, all Shraddha, okay. So you all are coming up with words, but Shraddha has changed the meaning quite a lot, at least in the vernacular languages. Today, Shraddha in the vernacular languages, in Hindi or any of those, has come to mean a belief. But even in 8th century, when Shankara was there, the meaning was different. The meaning, as Shankara defines it, was the capacity to stay with something until you become it. More Maya. Okay. So I'll tell you the one word which has been common from then to now and used in the same way by everybody, not just philosophers. Everybody in this country uses. You know what is that word? Array. Every time you say array, you are quoting the Veda. You don't believe me, you can go and look.
Janki ji, Are and Kare.
Kare, I didn't read, but array is there. Array is when this sage is talking to his wife, Maitreyi. He says, Array Maitreyi. So from that time to now, we are still saying Array. Amazingly. So words change, other words change. Like if you read Shakespeare from 16th century till today, you can't really understand what he's talking about, though he's speaking English. Then what do we have? In terms of group, Taran, as I understand, ego is more subtle than mind, the sense of I. Yes, because you've changed the definition. Stick with one definition. Don't keep changing definitions. Prakash's I no, sorry. In terms of growth, subtle and where does ego fit in? Deepraj. In terms of subtle and gross, where does ego fit in? That's now a different classification, but ego can be gross. Subtle ego is different from gross ego. Gross ego says, this is my house, this is my opinion, this is my life, this is my whatever. Subtle ego says, I have to reach the self. So gross and subtle in terms of the ego is, what is it attributing to itself? Is it attributing the body to itself? Grossest. Is it attributing the mind to itself? Subtler. Is it attributing intellect to itself? Subtler. Is it attributing the spiritual goal to itself? Subtlest. So gross and subtle is sort of it is not the ego in itself, but how much of the ego is there.
But in terms of the other thoughts?
No, same thing. In terms, it depends on now. In terms of the other thoughts, you cannot be attributing, the goal of realization to yourself, but your other thoughts are all like really horrible. I mean, it goes together. How do I put this? Look, if your other thoughts are something like, how am I looking? How I'm feeling, I have to be kept very physically comfortable. I love this drink and I don't love that drink. All your other thoughts are that type. Then your ego naturally has to attribute that to itself, no? So the proportion of gross and subtle will be in the same manner.
Okay, but so subtlety is pervasiveness and control, and the intellect can, I mean, promote spiritual growth and as a result reduce the ego. So the intellect, it has the control part down, but I'm not sure about the pervasiveness.
Pervades the ego? In that sense, you're saying?
Does it?
Yeah, of course. It can always uh, again depends on your definition of the term ego. Okay, I'm using it in the way we are using it in the class today. It also has to direct, no, that I'm being too stupid now. It has to tell the ego that, okay, cool down. Okay, you got this job done, but you didn't do it was not possible to do it just by yourself. So of course you're directing it. Why not? In the sense we're using it now.
So by this definition of the ego, we can say that the intellect is subtler than the ego.
Yes, but we don't usually say that because ego is, you can use it in a different sense. In this, we can use it. Suppose you're using ego as the base, then you can't say that. Then it works just the opposite. As the mind and intellect are reducing, ego is the base itself has become smaller. It's proportion.
That's the fact of individuality definition.
Yes.
Thank you.
Janki ma'am, can we say that when the intellect becomes more clearer, more pure, more stronger, then the sense ego in this is reduced and the self is asserted, so that way it becomes more pervasive?
Ego becomes more pervasive? What becomes more pervasive?
Intellect, because it has become now pure, it has become clearer, so the asserting of I is reduced. So it's naturally tendencing towards the real self, so it becomes more pervasive. Can we say that?
I'm not sure because, okay, so you're saying that when the intellect is directing the ego is becoming less, and therefore the self is becoming more, and therefore therefore intellect is more pervasive. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying.
It doesn't sound right. Firstly, intellect by this definition is pervasive because intellect is directing the ego. However, your intellect can be directing without reduction of ego. This is a possibility, na? Like, let's take a corporate executive who wants to, become big time in this world. Now, he's directing very well, but there's no reduction in ego. So, to reduce ego, you have to use another ability of the intellect, which 9 out of 10 people are not considering. So I don't think that what you're saying is correct, but you can decide for yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Bhavna, how we can improve the capacity to be kind to our mind after being aware that we were in the state of fighting with it. The first step is to understand where the mind is now. Right? Suppose I want to give me some example. I want to sleep less, let us say. Okay. So I have put on 5 alarms. I have tried to go to sleep early. I don't know, whatever, that's something I have done. But I am, a whole day, then I'm sleepy. My mind will not let me work. All this is going on. So I have to start, what am I doing currently? If I had no control on myself, if I was not directing anything, what would I currently be doing? I would be getting up, let us say, at 10 o'clock. Then being kind to myself is, let me put my alarm for 9:30. Why have I shot to 4? So determining where I am now, determining where I need to go, and determining what is next step for me now. So if I get up at 10, then let's try 9:45, 9:30. Let's try sleeping a little earlier at night, 15 minutes earlier. Let me just go and lie down. What can I do to make myself sleep 15 minutes earlier? They say, don't be on your phone. Put on lavender. I don't know whether any of this is true, but some people say you must put on lavender and then you will sleep very well. I don't know. You can try all these things. I haven't tried them, so I cannot tell you. But they have all these theories on how to sleep better. I think doing a hard day's work and being unselfish is good ways of sleeping better. But whatever it takes to sleep 15 minutes earlier, get up 15 minutes earlier, and then do that, say for as long as it just becomes comfortable to get up that much earlier. Then you say, okay, now I've tried 15 minutes earlier. Now, how about once you're completely comfortable, then go, let's say, half an hour earlier. Now come to 9:15. 9:15, you won't be able to make it, but 9:30 will seem easy to you. So, like that, step by step by step. I'm giving a very gross example because it's easier to understand. But in all things like that, just step by step, what is it where am I? Where am I trying to reach? And how much time will this process take? I must know, because it's very important to put dates. Okay, so what is today's date? 26th, right? So today is 26th. Now I want to get up at 4 o'clock. How long will it take me? Let us say I'm starting today and I get up at 10 o'clock today. Naturally, I get up at 10 o'clock. Now I want to make it 9:45. So what do? Let us say I'm going to take 3 weeks to do this. Then I'm going to make it 9:15. So I'm going to take another 3 weeks for that. Then I'm going to try for 8:30. Okay, let's say I give myself another 3 weeks for that. So like that, you calculate and say, okay, 4 o'clock I'm going to reach in this period of time, and have dates. One of the simplest things in life is put a date for everything. And then you don't get agitated on the way, because you know that you have got 3 weeks to accomplish this. There's no stress in anything. Like yesterday, somebody was telling me, we have to get the website ready. And get it ready in little time, he said. I don't understand little time. Give me a date. I'm driving everybody nuts nowadays. Because everybody's taking it so easy. It's an NGO, no, it's a trust. No, they think that we are all very calm and nice people. They can drag us on forever. No, you can't. We work like corporate executives, except without being paid. So everyone is getting ticked off nowadays. What are you doing? By what date are you intending to finish it? And what is your action plan, date-wise? Should be known. If you're doing a research project, what is the date you expect to finish it? What is the steps by which that date will be accomplished? I don't want to ask these Bhavna, Deepraj, and all the other Mahanubhavas. What is happening to the research projects that they had taken on? And date. What is the date? What date are we going to see it? What date is the journal coming out? What date is the next book supposed to arrive? It is the date. Then there's no, and you work that date out, not out of your brain, just felt like it's some date. But this will happen by this time, this will happen by this time, this will happen. So you get two advantages out of that. One is you are what you call kind to your mind. You'll be even more kind to your mind because you're not stressing it out. So, like, if you know something has to happen by January, you have to start the course in January, then what all has to happen till then? By what date? And if you've given yourself a nice, comfortable journey, no stress at all in the journey. Because we ourselves are setting the date now. Why don't you set a date which is comfortable for you? So you're not pressurizing the mind by making it feel it has failed. You're not stressing it out, making a thing, there's some pressure on you. Just happily, gradually come to that final point. Is that kind enough, Bhavna?
Yes, Janki ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, can we say that when we proportion the awareness with the effort, we are being kind to ourselves?
Proportion the awareness with the effort.
Awareness means knowledge. Means knowledge of
Knowledge
things
with
around.
Yes, you can say that.
Whatever I am doing, because maybe my knowledge is not complete. That is why there could be a congestion, or I may not be putting a right effort. It may lead to unkindness.
Yes, possible. Yeah, but then, yes, possible. But then action plan should be, I must have the knowledge about this particular thing by such and such a time.
Yes.
Otherwise, it tends to all be in the head. It's like it's not converting to actual physical action, and therefore no real result. Okay. So now let's see, where were we in the text? We were on verse 2.
Janki,
Yeah.
there's one more question pending.
Oh, there is. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Group 2 members were Sardevji, LC, Bhavna, Omkar, and I was the question and monitor. Question: why did Krishna refuse to impart the knowledge of the Gita post the war to Arjuna, then requested the same, although he considered Arjuna a divine person? We didn't have consensus as we ran out of time, but points considered were: objective of the war was achieved, and no surrender or reflection on part of Arjuna.
Okay. When you all are giving all the three group discussions, it was, what should I say? You all were telling me what were the points considered, but it's better if you tell me what were the points of debate. If you all did not agree, then what did you all debate? So be able to identify what point was the point of disagreement. Just because somebody stated something, that doesn't make it a group discussion. Once there's a debate on a point, then and that point was not sorted, then we must identify that point. So why did Krishna refuse to impart the knowledge of the Gita post the war to Arjuna when requested the same, although he considered Arjuna a divine person? Because there's a great world of difference between a divine person and a student. A divine person is a good person. You'll find hundreds and thousands of people in this world like that. So what? I mean, good people are not achievers in this world. Isn't it? Whether it is material achievement or spiritual achievement, there is good, and they feel very nice that they are good. They feel even better to say, I am good and they are bad. And they feel best to say that good people suffer in this world. All this goodness is all tamasic. I mean, tamasic not in a negative sense, but yeah, I mean, like, कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है तो मैं गुडनेस आपके गुडनेस के साथ करूं क्या? करना क्या है? अच्छा, बहुत गुड है तो फिर क्या? कुछ नहीं. अब मैं सोचने जा रहा हूँ, what is the use of your goodness? What is your contribution to the world? What have you done? I have only served and waited. But there was no cause for waiting. There was cause for service here. So, yeah, it's a bit, what should I say? People are happy to be good. And they're happy to be good because they don't have to put in any effort anymore. These are all this tamasic world. I mean, tamasic means 9 or 10 people are like that. Like, look at us as a group. How many people want Vedanta University to come on? How many people believe as a group studying Vedanta, okay, in the class? How many people believe Vedanta is useful? Of them, how many people believe that Vedanta University should come? Of them, how many people want to do some work for it? अच्छा है. आपके सानिध्य में तो होगा ही होगा. Everybody tells me this. When you're there, it's going to happen. What do you mean it's going to happen? Because I am there. What are you doing about it? Your life won't improve because of anything I do. So, where is the effort? Look at Jayashree. She works 7 days a week trying to do something. Right, Jayashree? You're working 7 days a week. No? You can call her anytime. She will take your call. Have you all called her anytime and she hasn't taken your call, hasn't responded to you? Has it happened? Never, no? See what kind of... I mean, I'm sure Bharat also, you call Bharat. Has he ever not responded to you?
Jayashree is very responsive. If she cannot talk, at least she will send a message.
Yes. So you see the difference between people who say, oh, Vedanta is very good, to Vedanta University must come up, to people actually working for it. So why is he not giving the knowledge? Even when she's meeting us, she's working. Yes, correct. For her, we are all work. She doesn't understand what is not work. And maximum, the person I meet the most is Jayashree. So we have so much fun. We go here. Yesterday we went furniture shopping and looking at paints. We're having fun. But what is it? Work is going on. We have to go from here to there. कभी bedsheet देख रहे हैं, कभी towel देख रहे हैं. Yesterday we bumped into your Omkar when we were doing the shopping. It's all work. It's all to do with Vedanta. And by the way, all of y'all can also do this. You don't have to come with us. Y'all can in your city look for towels and napkins and pillows and mattresses. I don't know what else. All the hundreds of things that have to be looked for. Because one thing is we have to get the money. Second thing, we have to get the object. So there are two separate jobs. So can you see the difference, Bharat? Now he has already explained. This guy has done nothing about it. He can explain again. He can explain 1,000 times. He's got the patience of a saint because he's God. He has got the patience of a saint. He'll say it 1,000,000 times. But even by saying it 1,000,000 times, it will make no difference to Arjuna. Because for him, it's a casual thing. It's just a casual thing. He was in a problem. He got some help. He's very thankful and grateful that that problem, whatever it was, is gone. But the knowledge is a casual thing. It is not something on which my life is based. It is not something that my life is dedicated to. So why is he not telling him? Not because he's fed up, but because he knows it. Arjuna is not asking you. Go to a party, people will ask you, oh, you do Vedanta. What is Vedanta? To which you just say simply, oh, so what do you do? Forgotten. Vedanta is gone. I used to see Swamiji do that. At a party or something, you ask him a question. He will ask you some question and it's gone. And he's not answered anything. And I used to ask him, what is he doing? I mean, I know he knows the answer. I know he'll give a fabulous answer. Why is he? And that person is asking, why is he not answering? I was very, very young. I was 21 years old. I mean, like anyone asking a question, I'm not 21, 24, let's say. I was that time because it was after the course. So I wonder. Then one day I saw he did it with me. I asked him something like this, and then he started saying something that had nothing to do with my question. I said, I waited for him to finish whatever else he was talking. I don't know what happened here. So I asked again. So he's looking at Sushila ji as she doesn't forget. So, and then I figured out, oh, that's what he did there also, but the person never asked again. Okay, you didn't answer my question. I've only forgotten my question. What was my question? So why will a professional spend their time and effort and energy for someone who doesn't even care about it? That is why they say if your guru corrects you, you should be grateful. Because when your guru is not correcting you anymore, he has given up on you. You should be really grateful that you're being corrected. You should be really grateful that you're being told this is wrong, because at that moment he is believing that you're going to do something about it. Otherwise, he will just start praising you. What else is he going to do with you? He's happy with you the way you are. He has no problem. The problem is what you're going to face. So is that clear, Bharat and the rest of the group?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Right. So anything else? So very nice. I think this had the fewest questions. No? All the other groups had 3 questions. So Sunday class, you all have come third in the online classes group.
But Janki ji, one question.
Yes, sir.
Then why he is addressing Arjun divine?
Because he is a good guy.
Okay, in that sense only, not that he got the knowledge, not in that sense, no. Okay.
Most people are good people in this world. So everybody is sweet, everybody is nice, everybody is good. Most people are good people. They get mad about something and they start screaming, but other than that, they're good people. Mostly. Very, very small percentage are bad people, and very, very small percentage are great people. You know, the normal bell curve. Mostly everybody is good, nice, sweet. But they cannot get the knowledge of Vedanta. Okay. So, where were we?
Yangshi, one question.
Okay. I think let us make a rule that only people who attend group discussion are allowed to ask questions in class. What do you think of that? You all agree with this rule? Yes?
No, because
because
while discussing, we may also feel doubtful. No, others also may become doubtful.
No, that is a good thing.
No, that is why people are asking. Others are also asking the question. No.
No. People are not willing to put in the effort to discuss and find the answer for themselves, will not get the answer when they are answered in class. Because remember that whatever the teacher has learned, almost everybody in the class has learned the same thing. That means in whatever we have learned, this answer which we are getting is available.
Okay.
So, we're going to make. So, Momita, since she has attended GD, she gets a chance to ask. Who will keep? Deepraj, you're in charge of GDs, right? You keep track of who has attended GD. If no attendance in GD whenever announced, then 1 month or 2 months or some rule you make. No questions. How's that?
Yes, great.
Okay. Okay, Momita, go ahead.
So, in order to train the mind, we have to first have a value for the goal of self-realization.
No, because that way nobody will train the mind. Because nobody has a value for self-realization. To train the mind, you must have a value for training the mind. So for that, you must know, say, why do I want my mind trained? That you must know, right?
Because it interferes with everything. It colors everything and it doesn't let me achieve what I want to achieve.
What colors everything?
It colors my perspective.
What is it?
The mind.
The mind. So that's because maybe you're hitting too high. The mind is the wind in your sails. right? So this wind has to take you in the direction that you're going. If there's no wind in your sails, how will your thing move? So you have to find something that your mind wants, because only then it will be willing to make the sacrifice. So don't go. So say, okay, let's say you hit on something like self-realization. I want self-realization, but then you have to figure out, where is my mind now? My mind is not in a condition to take that on. So what is my mind in a condition to take on? I'm just putting this there, okay? I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying if it is not, then what is it in a condition to take on as a goal? Like it'll say, hey, great, I want to do that. I really want to do it. Then that's the thing, because that you sort of pick on. Then the mind will lose its inspiration about that thing, because that's the nature of the mind. That's when the intellect comes and reminds us, no, but remember, you want this, you want this, you want this. So you are then just encouraging a trait of the mind, not fighting the trait of the mind.
Okay. Thank you.
Then not able to join yesterday. As I watched the recording, we became aware was skipped as 2 out of 4 group members were not present. No, it was not skipped because 2 out of 4 group members were not present. It was skipped because the questioner was not present. So if you wanted your question to be taken up, then by procedure, you have to get somebody else to adopt your question. Then the question gets taken up. If okay, can we please take up the group 3 question regarding gunas of food? Yes, we can do it. We'll take it up next time. You bring it up next time. Bring it up as your personal question. Okay, so that's it for today. And today's Sunday, right? So I have to give you some news. Look what's happening here. The first cabin is making its way. What do you think of that? It's not making its way now, but a few days ago when it came, this is not how it's going to look, by the way. This is its raw form. And this is when it was being loaded on the whatever it is loaded on that truck. I don't know what this thing is called. Tractor or truck or whatever it is. So it was loaded on 6 o'clock in the morning, and it has now come to our campus. Can you show it on the campus? This is how it looks before all the cladding and all that comes on. This is the balcony behind. The front portion, of course, is still to be done. This is the washroom window. Every cabin has a washroom. Here it is now placed in position. These are French windows in front. And this is it traveling up the path. It was quite a job taking it there. This is our famous Namrata restaurant, where you will stop when you're coming on the way. This is our point where you turn in off the Mumbai-Goa highway. You turn left when you come here. And this is what, yes, this is our office still getting readied.
I think these are the guest toilets, I thought.
Yes, this is the next to the office, yes. These are the facilities next to the office. This is the library. You can see that the tiles have been put. All work is stopped for the moment because of Diwali. And so what are you excited or nervous that cabin number 1 has arrived? Finally,
Yeah,
with difficulty.
Cabin looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not how it will eventually look. It will eventually look much better, I hope. We're struggling because doing something there is not easy. And let's see how it finally turns up. Anyone who wants to help, associate in anything, there are millions of things. I think everybody please just get in touch with Jayashree, ask her, tell her what you can do. She will very happily give you that particular job. and do whatever you can. It's a big yajna. You want to help us source materials, you want to help source funds, you want to just be part of it, and I don't know, do whatever. There are millions of things. Things you can do from home, things you can do from Mumbai, things you can do by going on a market and finding the prices of everything so that we can buy it at the best possible rate. We need beds, mattresses. You have good, we need now people who will make us beds. You have the picture of the bed that we want to make? Omkar? Jayashree, you have the picture of the bed? Anybody knows ready-made furniture makers or something like that? You have people who can make furniture, then tell us. So like everything has to be done, as you can imagine. So whatever you want to help with, help with. If in your city you get something very good, please tell us. So we can get it, we can source it from there. I don't know, Halwani is famous for what, or Assam is or whatever. Shillong is famous for what, and is it worth getting it from there to here? We need vessels for the kitchen. Can you believe whole thing is being set up? So I don't know. Narendra Singh Negi, where are you? Which city? Delhi.
Not Delhi. I said from Haridwar, 2 hours. Kotdwar.
Two hours.
Uttarakhand, Kotdwar.
Is there anything very good in your city which you think would be useful if we buy it from there rather than buy it from here? Then let us know. Anyone, anywhere. Orissa. Mamita, anything is very good in Orissa that you think that we should get here? Or somebody.
Yeah, sculpture maybe.
Sculpture, yeah, let's get a beautiful sculpture. See what is the costing.
Yes.
Massive, big. We wanted a massive Saraswati, really massive one.
Okay, I'll go check it out this time. I'm going in November.
Okay. Great. So please, anything anybody thinks, just because we haven't thought of it doesn't mean you don't need to think of it. We are all equally involved in setting this up. So whatever you think should be there, tell us you think it should be there. Tell us where to get it from. And everybody, please keep track of the fact that we need money. Don't forget that. Because to buy anything requires money. We can either get more money or we can buy cheaper stuff. Means good stuff at better prices. So we should try to do both. LC, what do you know, is very famous. Bangalore has something, or Delhi has something. Omkar, what does Gujarat have that we should get from Gujarat?
Janki ji, I am asking money from whomsoever I meet.
Very good. Please do. And also, anyone of you would like to help with administration and organization, Elsie, maybe you can help with administration. Just see whatever you all want to do, anything. You're very lucky. You have every type of job. Whatever your Swadharma is, you can do it. Every type of job is available. So just get in touch with Jayashree, tell her whatever you'd like to do, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Hari Om.
Janji, can I do a little announcement?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so anybody that is interested in GD, we're thinking of creating a GD group so that we can have regular GDs. Please contact me on my number. I will just share it.
Why don't you put it in the class groups also?
Okay.
So that anybody wants to do it. And once y'all have done it, whatever questions, whatever issues have not been resolved, every 5-6 GDs, we'll all get together and we will do it. So that it should not be left unresolved. Let's resolve it. Okay, and put it on the class groups. If only people who are attending classes should come to GDs. I mean, any of Swamiji's students' classes also okay. All right. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Janki ma'am, thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji.